Hi, my name is Elise, and this is a short little video about how I knew I was trans, because I did not have stories like mine growing up telling me that this was an option. And so, yeah, I just sort of, it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and it's really been, like, it's been a long time coming. Because it was something that I didn't really figure out until much later in life. I didn't have a lot of like huge glaring signs. Like I felt like a fairly normal little boy for the most part. Of course, that wasn't really what, you know, that wasn't really what I felt like, but I thought I felt like it. Because it was just like small little niggling things that never really added up until much later in life. I think like my earliest memories of any sort of like gender things was that I remember like pretty clearly I was maybe like 4 or 5, probably around 5 or so. Like having a daydream where me and my friends, who just so happened to be a girl, just like would swap places just to see what it was like to see the other side. Even from a young age, I was like super curious. And like I remember that's something that sticks out so clearly in my mind still. I remember like the exact thing. It's like, and like my sisters, I have 2 older sisters, and they would dress me up as like a doll. They would dress me up in doll's clothes when I was very young, and I never had an objection. I don't know if I would have supposed to have been an objection. I was very, very little at that point. But yeah, like small things like that, or like pretending that the shower was like some machine that would turn me into a Barbie doll. Like Barbie, not Ken, Barbie. Or just other things like that. And yeah, and so like most of it was just I had this like sneaking suspicion that that like girls knew things, they like knew more than me. They like knew this like great secret that I was not privy to, and I was really jealous. And so like that was an interesting thing. And then, you know, it was pretty quiet. I never really understood this whole like boy-girl rivalry. I was like, hey, girls are pretty cool too. Why are we doing this? And then puberty hit. And along with that, sexuality started to develop. But my first like sexual fantasies, or sexual, was me being jealous that women changed their last names. They took the man's last name. It's like, oh, I want to be a bride. I want to be Mrs. So-and-so. Like, why is that not something for me? I don't know. That was something. And just like really tame fantasies about being someone's wife. That was weird. I'd never been attracted to boys. I still don't know if I find men attractive or not. But that was what I was, you know, it was like that compulsory heterosexuality regardless of what my actual attractions are. And what else? I remember seeing a movie poster in Walmart that had Jessica Alba's like Blue Crush or Blue Wave or whatever. I was like, oh, I want to look like that. What would it feel like to be like her? And so like it was sort of like that sort of thing. Whenever I had a crush on a girl, I would daydream about swapping places with her, about like being her. I never like fantasized about like, even as I grew up, I can count on my hand, like one hand, the amount of times like I fantasized about myself having sex with a woman as the man. I always had to like project myself into the woman's role. And like that was I mean, you know, I thought it was just weird, and I knew it was weird. I knew that was different. I knew that was not normal. What else? I mean, I think that was just basically my entire, you know, like up until like my senior year of high school. And that's when I sort of started to get more curious. Like I was like, okay, what is this? This is obviously not something most people experience. And so I was like, oh, what is it if I like have these fantasies, but I'm not transgender? And that led me to autogynephilia. And I was like, oh, that seems to describe me. Until it didn't. Until I decided that like, yeah, socially I would like to be seen as one. That took a long time. I think I didn't really realize what I wanted until I played Skyrim for the first time, and I realized I can make a female character. It's like, what? I was like, my heart was beating so quickly when I realized that. It was weird because I didn't want anybody to know. And so like I played it off as a joke. I named her Katniss. I was like, oh look, she's Katniss. Like she's like the Hunger Games girl. And then I couldn't go back to being male protagonist in video games so long as I had the choice. It felt wrong. It's like I got dysphoria in video games if I had to be a dude. So that was interesting. And yeah. And so by the time I was 20, 21, I knew, but I was still denying it. I was like, I'm just not sure. Like, I need to go see a gender therapist. Like, I'd been on Reddit, like, reading Ask Transgender, be like, yo, what is this? Looking for experiences like mine. And there was, like, some that were similar, but they weren't quite similar enough for me to, like, really commit to being like, yeah, this is who I am. And so, yeah, I studied abroad for a year, and it's like, oh, man. This is great, except for like I'm jealous of all my friends, you know, it's like all these attractive women that I wish I could be. Like my best friends are like having fun in the club. I'm just like, oh wow, it'd be nice to be you. And so like I finally got back and I was really depressed my senior year. Like it was not a good time. I was like, I need to do something, and it took me another like 9 months after that to go see a gender therapist for the first time. I was like, I'm not sure. But most of the time I spent talking were like objections to like why I wouldn't start. I was like, I just want to like try hormones just to see. And then it took like another year after that until in March of 2017, I finally made an appointment at a LGBT specific clinic to get started on HRT, and March 25th, I started and I look back. But I mean, like still socially, I'm not really, like I'm out 90% of the time. But with a lot of my friends, like most of the friends that I've known, I've come out to them, but I'm just not presenting around them because I have a hard time with that. Anyway, I'm sure there's a lot I'm forgetting, but for the most part, that's sort of what it is. It was like really slow builds, and then it like just kept getting exponentially stronger, these feelings of dysphoria. And now a lot of those feelings are gone. It's nice. I still get a little anxiety because of imposter syndrome. That's like a huge thing. That's like my main thing right now. Is that I'm going to school and everyone knows me as Lise for like the first time ever, and it's great, except sometimes just like and pulling one over on people because it's hard to undo all that internalized nonsense, right? But yeah, no, it's exciting. And there's like still some days where I get really dysphoric, and it's mostly when I'm comparing myself to cis women, and that sucks. Like I'm very happy with how things have gone. It's a good decision, and I'm excited for what else can happen. So if any of this sounds similar, it was worth it, definitely.